Hello and welcome to Citi Sports Roundup with me, Benjamin Nketia. Coming up, GFA to ensure Black Meteors prepare adequately for Under-23 AFCON later this year. Also, Leicester City new manager Dean Smith says he's up to the task of keeping the team in the English top flight. And defending champions Real Madrid host Chelsea in Champions League quarter-final first leg on Wednesday. Let's get to the details of our stories now. Now, Chief Executive Officer for Faith Ladies Ebenezer Alote believes the Malta Guinness Women's Premier League has done enough this season to attract more corporate bodies in supporting women's football. According to him, women's football is gradually on the ascendancy under the current leadership of the Ghana Football Association President Kurt Okreku. Now, speaking to Citi Sports, Ebenezer Alote lauded the patronage received this season from football fans and hopes it motivates other corporate bodies to hop on.
A lot of eyeballs are on the women's league. Yes, that physically coming into our stadium, and the disadvantage is that, most of these women's football teams struggle with grounds where they get to play their pitches, and so their matches. Sorry, and so I am very, very positive that with the setup we have now, it will not take long, because if you have an international organization, like international company like Malta Guinness, coming to support, you then realize where you have gone to and how far you have gone. And the sky is only the limit. I am sure that we as teams can push more towards the direction of, and we have sponsorship, live telecast sponsorship from Max TV as well, which is also broadcasting the matches all over the world. I think there's more that can be done, and that more I can connect to the playing centers. If we can secure playing centers for these female teams, and they can brand the centers very well, it can go a long way to do the part of the marketing for the ladies. Companies after COVID, try to streamline and downsize, and so doing marketing with it, some of them were not too sure. Excuse me, we're not too sure whether something like a female football league, blah blah, until Malta Guinness came on board. Mind you, Betway is also on board. It's a development partner. It helps the teams doing capacity building training, development trainings for the technical team, for administrators, even for the girls. And so the work that is going on the ground, it will only take time. A lot more people will see the kind of input that has been made.
Now, General Secretary for the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harrisonado, says the association is prepared to ensure the Black Meteors are given the necessary resources to aid in adequate preparations for the Under-23 AFCON slated for June in Morocco. Now, Coach Ibrahim Tanko's side will partake in the tournament for the second time in the country's quest to qualify for the Paris Olympic Games next year. Speaking to Citi Sports, Harrisonado says Ghana's mission is to make it back to the Olympics after a 19-year absence from the Games.
The quest is to qualify to the Olympics game, and so you see that the technical team, the FA and everybody is geared up in terms of the preparations to ensure that we present a good team, we give ourselves good preparations, and be in the position to compete with the rest of Africa in terms of the other teams that will come. 3 slots are available, and then one, let's say 50-50 slots. We want to take one of the 3 slots, and so we must be ready. And like I said, immediately we qualified in Kumasi, the plans set off, and so the coaches know of this. They are monitoring the players. We are working very hard so that the players they will bring forward for us to get for the tournament, we would be able, through our engagement with their clubs, be able to get them so that they will have the best of preparations. But this is an area that we have some of our best talents. If you look at the Blasters, you look at the age level, the average age level, you see that some of the players qualify to also play in the U23. So we are very hopeful, and we want to qualify, and I think that we've given ourselves an opportunity, and we will take it.
Still with the national team, former Black Stars player Gordon Atram is back in striker Inaki Williams to replicate his form for Athletic Club for the national team. The 29-year-old is yet to score for the Black Stars after he switched nationality ahead of Ghana's participation at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Inaki got on the score sheet as Athletic Bilbao defeated Espanyol in the Spanish La Liga over the weekend, but has struggled to find the back of the net for Ghana in the last 8 games. Speaking to Citi Sports, Atram is confident that the forward will soon end his goal drought with the national team.
Inaki is a real professional player. He has been playing his Bilbao for very long now. The pressure that is happening is coming now. He knows about it, and I'm very sure that he will try and make his own amends. But football, that we have to know, football takes time to adopt. What he's facing now is adaptation. It's not that Inaki is not good, because everyone has been watching him on telly, what he has been doing there. And now, if he's joining Black Stars and things are not going well, as you people are saying, as Ghanaians are saying, for us, we that have played football before, and now as a technical man, we are not taking it that Inaki is not doing well. We know that it's all about adaptation. And with that, when he adopts very well and is used to the team, I'm sure all Ghanaians will see Inaki Williams.
Chairman of the MTN FA Cup Committee, Wilson Arthur, has rubbished talks of this season's finals not being attractive following the exit of the top clubs in the early stages. League leaders Aduana Stars were the latest to bow out of the tournament following a 3-1 loss to King Faisal at the quarter-final stage in Kumasi. Now 3 teams from the Premier League in Swatraman FC, Dreams FC and King Faisal Football Club together with Division 1 side Sky FC will battle it out for a place in the final. Now, speaking to Citi Sports, Wilson Arthur believes the top teams have not played at their best, resulting in their exit from the competition.
We started this season with 110 clubs, 18 Premier League clubs, 48 Division 1 clubs, and 44 Division 2 clubs. We've gone through all the stages. Now we have 8 left. At the onset of every competition, the organizing committee doesn't have expectations. We don't have targets. We don't have some clubs in mind that these are the clubs that should finish in the top 4 or top 2. Or we don't have such a thing. We just do the pairings, lucky draw pairings. They play, the best teams proceed, and then if the big teams are the best teams, they will stay. Then they will get, just like last year we had us in the final, isn't it? But this year, Dreams beat Hasselhoff at Accra Sports Stadium. Competitive match, they lost. So it means they are not the best team at the moment, isn't it? Kotovo lost to Aduana, so it means they are not the best team at the moment. And Aduana lost to King Faisal. So that is it. So we get the winners. We always work with the winners, the best teams at the moment. So by divine design, the teams we have now are the King Faisal, Swatraman, Dreams FC, and Sky FC. And so we work with them. We don't have expectations. Whatever we get, we brand and we package and we sell. That's what. Why are we still hanging on big clubs? They go, they play match. You see the crowd that shows up. Are you happy with the crowd you are seeing? The big clubs go. Can we focus on TV? We need to focus on quality of the game. Okay, this competition is about the best team of the moment. This competition is about today, the best team on the day. That's how it is. So the best team on the day, and that is what it is. So we should be happy that we've had surprises. It's the nature of this competition because it's new. Sorry.
Wilson Arthur further revealed that there are plans to hold this season's final of the FA Cup at a favourable ground to help raise more spectators for the competition.
We have a meeting tomorrow. Hopefully, we are reviewing. Yes, we had plans. We had plans of what we want to play the semi-finals and the final. But we need to review in the face of facts. When you get facts, when you are comfortable with certain situations, you review. That's why we have a committee. So we are meeting to make our recommendations to the executive committee of the Ghana Football Association, and then an announcement will be made. That is how we work. They ask for the date. We know it's 14th. And 14th of May, we are playing the semi-final. And the 17th, Sunday, 17th of June, we are playing the finals. We know the dates. The dates are firmed up. We are working with FIFA calendar. So we know the dates we are playing. And we've stuck to the dates. All the levels that the stages we've played on the dates we scheduled from the zero.
You are watching the Citi Sports Roundup on Citi TV with me, Benjamin Nketia. When we return, we'll bring you some more stories. Welcome back. This is the Citi Sports Roundup on Citi TV. My name is Benjamin Nketia. Let's do some more stories now. Now, UEFA President Alexander Seferin says he's looking forward to growing the European game in a friendly environment following his re-election. The Slovenian was re-elected recently for a 4-year term until 2027 by the 55-member associations that make up UEFA unopposed. European football has recently been rocked by challenges which include the European Super League, the COVID-19 pandemic, and also a proposal to play the World Cup every 2 years.
Look, after 3 years of trouble, we had COVID, we had Super League, we had World Cup every 2 years. I don't know if I want even to think about any more trouble.
You want peace?
Yeah, I want peace and calm. They all said it's a great job, but it was difficult 3 years. 3 years, tough years. And I don't want to be concerned in advance. We go from day to day, and what makes me happy is that our competition is very interesting and that everybody loves it, and that when you hear the anthem of Champions League, for example, everybody is excited. As long as this exists, I'm happy. And of course, the Euro as well.
Now, Fabio Paratici has appealed to FIFA against his worldwide ban from football. The decision to extend his FIGC sanction passed by the FIFA Disciplinary Committee forced him to take a leave of absence from Tottenham at the time they are searching for a new permanent manager. Paratici, along with 11 other officials, was handed a 30-month ban from Italian football in January as part of an investigation into alleged financial mismanagement at Juventus. Now, this was extended worldwide last month. Paratici, Juventus, and the other officials involved had already appealed against those sanctions in Italy, with the outcome expected later this month. New Leicester City manager Dean Smith believes he and his technical team are up to the task of ensuring the club avoids relegation from the English Premier League this season. The 52-year-old comes in to replace Brendan Rodgers, who was sacked after a poor run of results, which has left the team in the relegation zone. Smith's first game in charge of Leicester is away to Premier League champions Manchester City on Saturday, and he says he's looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, I've had a nice break. The first break I've had, I think since I came into management for the first time, I think I've had 9 on 600 consecutive games. So yeah, I had a nice break, but it's nice to be back, and none more so than being at this football club and this training centre. So excited now, but know there's a lot of hard work in front of us, and looking forward to it.
Leicester are obviously in a precarious position at the moment. How do you assess the Premier League situation? Yeah,
it is precarious, and if it was something that I thought was insurmountable, then I wouldn't have come, and Shaky and JT wouldn't have come if they believed that also. So we're looking forward to the challenge, but we know it's going to be tough, and we'll be putting demands on the players, and we'll be putting demands on ourselves, and we'll be spending every minute of every day to make sure we work hard to make sure that we keep this football club in the Premier League.
Now, Leeds United have been ordered to pay their former player Jean-Kevin Augustin a staggering £24.5 million after being found to have breached his contract. The club have appealed the decision, which was made by FIFA's Dispute Resolution Chamber in what is the latest twist in the long-running saga surrounding the French forward who played just 48 minutes for the Whites. Adam Kai of Citi Sports has more.
Leeds signed Augustin on loan from RB Leipzig in January 2020 with an obligation to buy for £18 million if they won promotion to the Premier League that season, which they achieved. But the Ellen Road club argued they should not have to pay the transfer fee because Augustin's loan expired on June 30 and they went up on July 17 after the season was delayed by the COVID-19 pandemic. FIFA ruled in 2021 that Lee should pay the full amount after the club lost their appeal with the Court of Arbitration for Sport last November. They eventually reached a £15.5 million settlement with Leipzig. Following that ruling, Augustin, who now plays for Swiss side Basel, took his own case against Leeds to FIFA, who have found partially in his favour. The £24.5 million fee the Whites have been told to pay is understood to represent the player's full 5-year contract on wages of around £80,000 a week. The club's latest appeal will now result in another CAS hearing unless it is settled sooner.
Our former Chelsea midfielder John Mikel Obi believed the decision to sack Graham Potter was the right one. Potter took charge of Chelsea following the dismissal of Thomas Tuchel, but after less than 7 months in charge, he has also been relieved of his duties after only managing to lead the team to the 11th spot on the league log. According to Mikel, Potter lacked the temperament to manage a club of Chelsea's stature and could not motivate the players at the club.
When it comes to the remaining games now, I think Frank, when you look at it, it's like he's got nothing to lose. Yeah. I think when it comes to the Champions League, I think everybody thinks that, it's going to be a Madrid win. But I hope Chelsea can be able to do it. But when you look at the two teams, who's in form and who's not in form, I think Madrid are playing really well. I mean, they beat Barcelona, 4-0 last?
Yeah, they were class last night.
So, I mean, if you look at both teams, you look at that matchup and you think, okay, Madrid are going to go through. But I hope my old team do it. I hope that Frank comes in and bring the magic back in the club. Yeah, but when it comes to selecting the managers, there's so many world-class managers still available. But I think the club wants to take their time now to make the right decision. When you look at that, I think, was he given enough time? I think so. I think when you look at where the club is now, I mean, what is it, 11th?
11th, yeah.
At the table.
7 months.
Yeah, so when you look at it, I mean, he's been given a lot of time. I think if he was the Roman Abramovich era,
he would have been going 4 months
that
ago.
chopper would have
exactly.
appeared.
So was he given enough time? I think so. I think the club made the right decision. Was the club too big for him to manage? Maybe. Because when I look at him sometimes on the touchline, it's like he doesn't really know what to do. He's not communicating to the players. He doesn't tell them what to do on the pitch.
This is the Citi Sports Roundup on Citi TV. With me, Benjamin Nketia. We'll take a break here. When we return, we'll bring you some more foreign stories. Thank you for staying with us on the Citi Sports Roundup. My name is Benjamin Nketia. Let's get into some more foreign stories now. The first leg of the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals continue on Wednesday when AC Milan host Napoli at the San Siro. Meanwhile, defending champions Real Madrid host struggling Chelsea at the Santiago Bernabeu. This is the third Champions League campaign in a row. The two sides are meeting in the knockout stage with the winner of the last two ties going on to win the trophy. Chelsea caretaker manager Frank Lampard has been sharing his thoughts ahead of the game.
Yeah, I think so. It's an arena. I was just speaking actually about I only played it once in my career, England-Spain, and we lost 2-0 and I don't think I got a kick. Xavi and Iniesta were in their heyday. But I absolutely remember the size of the stadium. So for our players, some young players that we've got, we know in the squad, but also we have some players that have achieved a lot. Champions League winners, World Cup winners, and these things. So I don't think it's something completely new to them. But of course, this is a stadium that, and the quarterfinals an occasion, and that we have to play the occasion because levels go up at this point in the competition. But we have to come in with a belief that we can perform under that pressure. I think we have to understand the strengths of the Real Madrid team, which means in terms of their qualities in possession and their individual talent, we have to be very, very disciplined with our game off the ball against Real Madrid. Understand the threats. There's some very clear threats individually in their team, ways that Real Madrid like to score and regularly score, and how they want to control a game. So we have to be defensively good against that. But I think we also have to show our own strengths in our game, and the players will be aware of how we want to approach the game. We have to have belief. We have to follow the idea, because in a high-level game, the biggest thing can sometimes be the mentality of following through with what the idea is under pressure. So we have to be, at this level, you have to be spot on with your game to take it back to Stamford Bridge next week in front of our home supporters.
Let's now head to the camp of Real Madrid and hear from their manager Carlo Ancelotti and defender David Alaba, who have been speaking ahead of the game as well.
Asked, would you consider going back to help them?
Again, I'm sad. Yes, I have a fantastic memory of this club, of the people that are still working there, and I am a supporter of Chelsea, of course, because I spent 2 years really nice there. Be back? No, I think that Lampard, I hope that Lampard is able to do a fantastic job with them.
We don't underestimate Chelsea. We know that they still have a great squad, a great a great team, and we have to be focused. We have to focus on ourselves, try to be very concentrated and press from the first minute on, and try to be successful tomorrow. They still have good players, a great squad, like I said, and a strong team. And changes they have done maybe in the last week can do some things too. And this is what we know. So we have to stay very focused.
Now, President of the Ghana Swimming Association, Delphine Akwe, is calling on corporate Ghana to sponsor the organization to hold competitive events to train swimmers in the country ahead of future tournaments. This year, the association will host a number of competitions, including the maiden edition of the President's Cup slated for the end of this month in a bid to select some of the best swimmers in the country ahead of international competitions. Speaking in an exclusive interview with Citi Sports, Delphine Akwe also lamented the unavailability of swimming facilities in the country.
Well, I want to say the government is doing its best. They are building us a facility at Baltimore. Yes. That will be used for the African Games coming up. And after that, I'm sure we'll have to use the place for our trainings and other things. Now we are asking for companies, for not government alone, but for, what do you call them? People out there, corporate Ghana, to come to our aid. You see, because all we need is sponsorships. When we have the sponsorships, we can organize as many competitions as possible, and then we can, from these competitions, get our best swimmers and train them to higher heights. But without that, we'll still be in a small corner, doing the little and the best that we can. So we appeal to corporate Ghana. Government is doing its best, but corporate Ghana can do better for us, and they are the ones we are appealing to now. Sponsorships. If anybody can really build us a pool, a facility, we'll manage it and make sure swimming gets the recognition that it needs in this country.
And let's do some basketball now. Portland Trailblazers star Damian Lillard has expressed frustration over another failed season after the team missed out on competing in the NBA playoffs. He said it's in the season-ending press conference as the Trailblazers finished 13th in the NBA's Western Conference standings after recording 33 wins and 49 losses. The superstar point guard summed up his frustration by indicating he doesn't have the appetite for building a title contender with a young roster.
I mean, at this point, you don't, I think for me, I always go into the offseason and I come into every season trying to do whatever I can to make that turn into winning. And I think this year, I did think I had my best year individually, but it didn't lead to wins. So I don't think it's really any way for me to reconcile with that. I'm still going into the summer like, man, how did that happen? And I always look in the mirror and I look at myself and I wonder, what I could have did better. Where could I have hurt the team? what could have gone differently, where it would have been more in our benefit as a team. And, that's the battle that I always face, when it doesn't work out and I did well in a game or in a season. So it's just tough. It didn't lead to what you would like for it to lead to. I don't have much of an appetite for building and, guys 2 and 3 years away from really going after it. You know what I'm saying? And, I think we get Shaden at 19 and he's just different. You know what I'm saying? I think he, just being around him, his disposition, how he listens, his frame, his natural talent and his ability, I think, that's enough 19-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? And you probably won't find one that will come along the way he has. But, I just ain't interested in that, being honest. And this is not a secret, you know what I mean?
That's all for today's edition of Citi Sports Roundup here on Citi TV. For more sports, do log on to citisportsonline.com. My name is Benjamin Nketia, and many thanks for watching.